I'm Professor Molly Kuehl, and this is the best lab assistant on the entire planet, Molecular. We're here today to talk about Sarasota Bay and one of the reasons that it is such a special place. Then what we're going to do is show you a quick experiment that you can do at home to demonstrate what makes Sarasota Bay so cool. So Sarasota Bay is what we consider to be an estuary. Mo, can you tell us what an estuary is?
An estuary is a place where the fresh and the salt water mix together.
That's right. And for us in Sarasota Bay, our main saltwater source is the Gulf of Mexico. And our main freshwater source is going to be rainfall and rivers like the Manatee River that lead out in Sarasota Bay. This mix of salt and freshwater is called brackish water, and that's one of the reasons Sarasota Bay is so special. And we scientists have a fancy word for the saltiness of the water. We call it
Salinity.
That's right, salinity. So what we typically refer to as salt water, like our oceans, has high salinity. And things like rivers and lakes have low salinity, so they're considered freshwater. Have you ever noticed when you're in the ocean, it's much easier to float than it is when you're in a place like a pool with fresh water?
Yes.
Well, the reason for that is because of the salinity. The more salt there is in the water, the more dense it is. And the more dense it is, the more likely it is that objects are going to float on it. So to demonstrate how this works, we have a very simple experiment. You're going to need 5 things. You're going to need a tablespoon. You're going to need at least 2 tablespoons worth of salt. You're going to need 1 glass full of fresh water, right from the tap is fine. You're going to need an empty glass, and you're also going to need an egg. Step 1 in our experiment is where we pour the fresh water from our first glass into our empty glass about halfway. Then you're going to take your tablespoon and scoop out 2 tablespoons of salt. Put that into your first glass. Then you're going to mix it up until you can't see those individual little salt granules anymore. Next step, going to take your egg, thank you Mo, and very gently put it in that first glass. You should notice that the egg floats on top. Now you're going to take your second glass that has the fresh water, very carefully pour it into your glass with the egg. And notice where your egg is sitting in the glass. It should be sitting right in the middle between that fresh and salt water. What do you think?
Awesome.
Excellent. Now you notice when you put the egg into the salt water that the egg floated on top. And then all of a sudden when you added that fresh water, the egg dropped right in the middle. That's because the salt water is more dense than the egg, so the egg floated on top. But that egg was also more dense than the fresh water, and that's what allowed it to sit in the middle. So now you have everything you need to try this experiment at home, and I wish you the best of luck. Thanks!